Using Social Stories to Improve Student Communication Skills by Blake Sappingfield. What is a social story? Tobik says, a social story is a narrative made to illustrate certain situations and problems and how people deal with them. They help children with autism understand social norms and learn how to communicate with others appropriately. Meet my student. Kelsey is a 6th grade student with an IEP and a BIP. She has social emotional behavior goal that revolves around respect, responsibility, and safety. Many of her accommodations are based around an explosive anger when she is frustrated. She is unable to communicate when she becomes frustrated and often becomes violent. Kelsey is an A to B student, does very well almost every day, struggles with math, and struggles with social skills. Looking at Kelsey, here is my plan. I have an entire period every day committed to just social skills. It's the first period when we walk in. My students begin their day by copying down the weekly list every day for that week. We then say the list out loud, what it means to us, and then sometimes we even act out skits on how to properly put these skills into action. When Kelsey came to my room, I knew I wanted to adapt this somehow and discovered social stories. These stories allow the student to imagine, create, and visualize. One of my techniques, as you can see on the right, is a comic strip of social stories. The one featured is an example I created for a previous class that we did. The title is saying thank you. This shows the students how, when, and where to say thank you. Not only does this work for social skills, but also works for proper communication. The idea. Kelsey struggled at the beginning of the year with her communication and social skills. At one point, we did have a meeting to possibly place her on a social skills goal. After some convincing, we ended up not doing that because it felt like our social skills classes began to take effect. Precisely the stories that we were doing were correcting many behaviors she was showing. It felt like she was really starting to adapt to the middle school lifestyle. Some of the behaviors shown were forgetting to raise our hand in class, outbursts, talkouts, and even flatulence in class. These outbursts were not allowed in a general ed setting, nor in my classroom, but we continue to have a problem with it. So I wanted to take these social stories and adapt them to find a way to help her. Implementation, my checklist, and playing the role. Monday, students would come in and write down the new social skills. Tuesday, the students would rewrite the goals and then discuss with a partner. Wednesday, the students would rewrite the goals and then we would role play the situation. Thursday, the students would begin their own social story comic. Friday, we would end our social story comic and present. We have done this religiously for a few months now and it has worked great. Looking at data, Kelsey's data has only increased in percentage for respect and responsibility in her out classes, which is what I was worried about. But now seeing how positive her data is, that worry is no longer there. My results. Overall, my class's behaviors have decreased since the start of the year, which is very promising. But since we began, Kelsey's data has improved from a 95% to a 97%, which isn't a huge jump, but it is neat to see some progress when they are already that high. Communication. Kelsey's teachers have also been saying how much better she has been, especially communicating with peers. It is great to see something work as great as this has worked for her. Her peer-to-peer communication and interactions have all been positive. She has also been more well-behaved when it has come to communicating her wants and needs. I would say we are moving forward in social interactions and starting to catch ourselves when we start to act foolish or childish in situations that do not call for it. I will continue to expand the use of social stories and research new ideas to allow my students the opportunity to increase their ability to communicate and their ability to act appropriately in social settings. Here are my works cited, my references, and thank you all for listening.